Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you with Toadstool Sports. This is going to be the NFL playoff bracket special. I'm going to fill out my NFL bracket the way that I fill out these other brackets using game theory. And I don't know if I'm going to hold myself to every single one of these. Like once I see what the final market reads are going to look like on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. But we'll see. I don't think I changed anything in my college one. But college, of course, a bunch of that stuff got disrupted in college anyway. And we know how that goes. My champion is alive, though, in college with Indiana. And I think whoever wins Indiana versus Oregon is going to be the champion. But we will see. I'm going to rant about tonight, tomorrow. I'm really, really fucking pissed about tonight. If you saw how some of these games went, we should have had at least like 3 wins that didn't happen just on massive, massive swings late in games. I am pissed as fuck. I don't think I handicapped these games wrong for the most part. Dirty Sock, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to get right into this, though. This is going to be, of course, the playoff bracket here. I'm going to fill this out on ESPN. This is going to be my bracket on ESPN. This is the structure here. This is probably not going to take very long. And we do know, though, that in the NFL reseeds. So the 1 seed in each conference gets a bye, and whoever is the lowest seed to advance out of the wild card round faces the number 1 seed. So that's how it works. And then the other 2 teams play against each other. So that's how the structure happens. And then, of course, it becomes a normal bracket at that point. And, yeah, higher seed or the better seed is the host of every game up until the Super Bowl, of course, which is in San Francisco's stadium, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, I don't think the 49ers are going to be getting there. I'm sorry to say. But we can get into it right now, man. So you know how I do this. I build brackets backwards. I'm built backwards. I build these things backwards. So I start with the champion because it's all about game theory. Like if you want to try to beat like a large pool or whatever, I know it makes more sense in March Madness because there are so many combinations that can happen. In these small brackets, not so much, but I still use the same technique. So I look at who's picking whom as far as the champion is concerned. Of course, ESPN doesn't make this as easy anymore to figure out like who you want to have at the other points in the bracket because they don't tell you who's picking whom to get to a certain point in the bracket anymore. Like they're only telling you that percentage, that raw percentage for the champion. And then they have the stupid people's bracket here, which they're just telling you like these are the teams that people are advancing that far. And then out of that specific matchup, that's the percentage. So the Seahawks are the most picked team. The most picked Super Bowl matchup is Seahawks over Broncos. But the fact that they're saying 69% of pickers are picking the Seahawks over the Broncos, that's just in that specific champion matchup. Because as you can see here, of course, 23.2% is the actual percentage of people picking the Seahawks to win the whole thing. But that is where I start. I say, okay, the Seahawks are being picked a lot, 23.2%. Usually I'm not going to be picking the team that's being picked the most, and probably it makes sense to not pick the Seahawks, even though, yes, they do have the bye into the second round. Sometimes the team can be a little bit rusty coming off of that, though, but they have an inexperienced quarterback, man. Darnold, I'm still not a believer there. I know the Seahawks have a really good defense, but I think the Seahawks are also going to have a pretty challenging road here. So, well, we'll see what the odds are on the Seahawks here, but it does look like if the Packers win, the Seahawks are going to draw the Packers right away, and that is not going to be that easy of a game. The Packers are pretty legit. The Seahawks also have a decent chance of drawing the Rams. That's also not going to be easy at all. So, there are definitely some like the NFC is a gauntlet, man. So, and of course, I could see the Eagles being able to beat them as well, bro. So you kind of know where I'm headed with this. The Seahawks do have the best odds to win, according to DraftKings here at plus 330. I'm going to see what the implied odds are on that. And so I'm just going to use DraftKings odds for this. The implied probability, 23.26%. So looking at what they're being picked, the Seahawks actually are being picked right around the correct amount, actually, which I'm surprised. I thought they were being overpicked. They're actually slightly underpicked, I guess, based on the implied probability, but there's really not a whole lot of leverage there, so I would probably not be picking the Seahawks. Rams are the next most popular pick at 17.6%. They do have the second best odds, and with the Rams, you're looking at a balanced team with the Rams, good offense, good defense. I think the power ratings-wise, they still might actually be the best team in the NFL. They have, of course, a quarterback that's won a Super Bowl before. They got a lot of experience. They got a coach that's won a Super Bowl and has been to multiple Super Bowls. So the Rams, I would certainly not write off the Rams. Let's put it that way. And, of course, the Rams do have a pretty easy matchup in the first round as well. I don't think they're going to lose to the Panthers, to put it mildly. They're at 420 plus 425 to win here. That's an implied probability of 19.05%. So there actually is slight positive leverage there on the Rams of whatever that is, less than 2%. So you could pick the Rams to win the Super Bowl here, and I would not knock you for that. But let's see what else we have here. We have the Bills being picked at 13.1%. Being picked the most to win, which is interesting. They're the most popular champion pick out of the AFC, but the Broncos are the most popular pick to get to the championship game out of the AFC, which is really weird. I've never seen anything like that. Like if 66% of pickers are picking the Broncos to beat the Bills, then how are the Bills being picked more to win the, I guess it's possible. Like I guess people are either knocking the Bills out like right away pretty much, well, I guess against the Broncos, or they're carrying them all the way through the championship, which is just bizarre. So Bills, 13.1% is what they're being picked. They're going to be negative leverage. I can guarantee it. They're 10-1 to win this whole thing, plus 1,000. So, yeah, less than 10% implied probability. So I believe this site actually is kind of factoring in the VIG because plus 1,000 you think would be just 10%, but they're saying it's 9.09%. So the Bills, you do not want to pick them. So I would say, avoid the Bills. It's like negative 3-point-something% leverage. Next popular is the Patriots at 10.7%. Don't know if I would want to roll with the Patriots with a quarterback that's never played in the playoffs before. I would probably avoid that. They're at plus 900, so they actually have better odds to win than the Bills do. Implied probability of 10% in that case. But they're being overpicked slightly at 10.7%. Then we have the Broncos at 10.5%. Broncos are plus 650, so they're actually the third best odds, partially because they skipped the first round. Skip it. They have a bye. Implied probability of 13.33%. So you're looking at almost 3% leverage gain on that one. So, yeah, and then Eagles is a huge drop-off to the Eagles, 5.4%, even though they're the returning champs. Where are the Eagles at here? They're at plus 950, so they're going to be positive leverage. No, I don't want to add them to my betting slip. No, sir. Plus, I don't think I'm logged in anyway. Plus 950. Let me see. 9.52% implied. So the Eagles are getting some pretty strong leverage there, plus 4%. So I think it's got to be one of those teams. And then I don't think we have to worry about the rest of these teams, to be honest. I think out of these picks, like, you're getting to such a low percentage that you're probably not going to be looking at the rest of these teams. All the other teams are below 10-1 to win. So I think we're dealing with just Seahawks, Rams, Broncos, Patriots, Eagles, Bills. And I already wrote off the Bills for being too negative leverage. I think Seahawks and Patriots are kind of about even leverage, so I'd probably write them off too. So I think it's got to be Rams, Broncos, or Eagles here. Then the question is going to be which one. Rams, what did I say? The Rams, 17.6%, plus 425. What's their leverage again? It's about, it's less than 2%. So, I think this is what I said, man. When I looked at what was going to happen when I did this before, I was like, I don't know if I like that. But I think, my God, I think it's going to be the Broncos, man. Shout out to Cole, I guess. I mean, at least Bo Nix has played one playoff game before. He's 0-1 in the playoff games. Do I trust him? No, but they do have a Super Bowl winning coach, and they have a really good defense, so there is that at least. And they skip the first round, skip it, and I think they're going to get a pretty decent draw here, although they might wind up drawing the Chargers if the Chargers beat the Patriots, which would be somewhat difficult. The Broncos, I would guess, would probably be about a 3-point favorite in that game. But there's also a decent chance they draw the Steelers, and the Broncos would be a pretty big favorite there if the Steelers were to win that game. And I think those are probably the two most common opponents they would draw. Or I guess they could draw the Texans as well. So, like, basically they're going to draw the winner of Steelers-Texans or the Chargers pretty much, or who the Broncos are going to draw. So the Broncos do have a decent path there, I would say. And with the number 2 seed being pretty weak, the Jags, I don't know. The Bills are looming there, but the Bills don't have a good defense. And it all goes through Mile High, which is difficult to play. And, I don't hate this, to be honest. So what are we looking at with the Broncos? 13.33% versus the Eagles being like 9%, whatever. So it's a little bit less positive leverage, but much higher percentage chance to win for the Broncos. Let's do it. We'll go with the Broncos to win the Super Bowl. Oh, no. I have to fill out this tiebreaker. Like, how many total points? I don't know. Charles, what's going on? 666. Yeah, that's not good. Swole King Cole. Yeah, he's working out, man. You bet on the Broncos to win the Super Bowl? Yeah, I mean, I would hold on to it for now and then maybe hedge later on a little bit. You're not a fan of them? Dude, I hate the Patriots fan base around here, although I was a fan of them up until they got Belichick and Brady. The fan base became completely insufferable. But I don't dislike this current Patriot iteration, except I don't like Josh McDaniels. So, all right. Now, who are we going to have coming out of the NFC here? So I'm going to look at the odds to win the NFC here. Conference winner, by the way, really interesting. The Broncos are only plus 230. So they have worse odds to win the AFC than the Seahawks have to win the NFC. And actually worse odds than both the Seahawks and the Rams. This is bizarre, dude. So, oh, man. These odds seem, just strange to me. This is the odds to win the conference. I don't know. But for the NFC, we have Seahawks at plus 155, Rams plus 225, Eagles plus 475, and then there's a big drop-off. It's got to be one of those three. And I'm probably going to buck the Seahawks because everybody's picking the Seahawks. So I think I want to avoid picking them. So it's probably Rams or Eagles here. Now, I think it's more likely that the Seahawks wind up facing the Rams earlier in. I think there are more chances for the Eagles to get through this because I think the Eagles will beat the 49ers. And then who would they draw in the next game, though? I'm trying to think, what would the shuffle be here? So it could be, if the Packers win, it would be Seahawks-Packers, and then the Eagles would get the Rams. Yeah, that's not easy either, but they'd get the Rams in Philadelphia outdoors, so that's not horrible. Interesting. And the Seahawks, the Seahawks are not going to have it easy versus the Rams or the Packers, like I said. what are we looking at for the people's bracket here? We got the Seahawks. Everybody has Seahawks Rams here. A lot of people are really not going with the Eagles, and it was kind of like last year. The Eagles are just being overlooked, man. I mean, the Eagles, yeah, their offense has really become stagnant at times, but the Eagles are the most experienced team here pretty much, except some of their defense from last year isn't here anymore. I mean, they've won a Super Bowl before. You know, I'm going to do it, even though I think if it comes to this matchup, Broncos-Eagles, I think, I think that if it comes to that, the Eagles would be, they might win the game. I mean, they'd be the more experienced team there, but I don't know. We'll see. It would be a decent defensive matchup, though. So I guess I'm going to do that, go with the Eagles here. Now, I don't know if this bracket thing here is going to start, shuffling. If I pick, it's not flipping. This game doesn't, flip the teams around, so you don't know what the matchup would actually be, right? Oh, no, it does. It does. So if I pick the 49ers, it would go there. But then if I pick the Packers, yeah, it does bump them. Okay, interesting. All right, anyway, Eagles is who I wanted to pick there. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to fix all this shit. Okay. So that's settled, unless, plus 475. What are the implied odds on that? 17.39% versus, 36 or whatever is what the Seahawks would be. But the Seahawks are being picked quite a bit, really. It's they're probably being picked over 50% to get there, to be honest. And then the Rams at 225 are 30.77%, which is still pretty high. So, I mean, you could go with the Rams to get to the Super Bowl as well. I don't hate that pick either. So I think it's either Rams or Eagles to get to the Super Bowl there. But again, I wish they showed you what percentage of pickers are picking each team to get here. You know what I mean? Because it seems like, it's really, really hard to figure that out. So I don't know, what percentage of pickers, because I want to find the leverage spot, but whatever. Now we just have the first round games to figure out, and that's about it. We have Steelers-Texans here. I'm going to talk about all these first round games more on the days of the games, of course, but the Steelers-Texans one, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to pick the Steelers in this one, man. I don't trust C.J. Stroud on the road. He's 0-2 on the road in the postseason. I know the Texans' defense is good, but I see this being a low-scoring game. Totals in the high 30s. It's going to be ugly. It's outdoors. It's going to be in the 30s out. It's not going to be quite freezing, but I still don't know if I trust Stroud in cold weather like this. I know he did win one game in early December at the Chiefs, but I don't know, man. You're talking about going up against Aaron Rodgers as well here. Some experience. The Steelers are getting totally knocked because Tomlin loses in the first round all the time. But one thing that's really crazy about this is a Monday night game. The Steelers have not lost a Monday night game since. Let me see what the number is on this. Steelers Monday Night Football record. Hang on. The Steelers. The last time they lost a home Monday Night Football game, the Steelers, was in 1991. I am not making that up. I believe the Steelers have won 25 home Monday Night Football games in a row. And people are saying no because they lost one in 2020 against the Washington Redskins. I'm still calling them the Redskins, but that's actually not true because that was during all that COVID bullshit. And yeah, the Steelers lost that game, but that was a game that was played at 5 p.m. on a Monday night, but it was a Fox game. It was not the Monday Night Football game. It got moved to early evening Monday, so it was technically not a Monday night game. And even if you think that it was, that means the Steelers are 25-1 in the last 26 games that they host on Monday night. That is a crazy trend to try to buck, man. So I'm actually going to pick the Steelers to beat the Texans, even though the Texans have the better defense. And the Texans have looked good, but of course the public is all over the Texans. So game theory-wise, it makes sense to do it. The Texans are 75% here, which if you think the Texans should be 75% to win this game, the Texans should probably be a minus 300 favorite, and they're absolutely not. They're minus 155. So game theory does actually say to grab the Steelers in that game with the chance, like it's close to a toss-up game. So that's what I'm going to do in that one for now. Might be a play for me at Steelers +3. I don't know. Broncos Rams are 10-1. Broncos Eagles 18-1. Yeah, I mean, you could play both, and then if either one happens, then you'll win something. Jags Bills, this game, you know, this is a difficult one, man. This is at Jacksonville. Now, Josh Allen has only played in Jacksonville once ever, and it was like 4 years ago, and the Bills lost that game. So I don't know how much we should take away from that. It was one game a long time ago, but that's not great. The Bills, with Josh Allen, the one time they went to the Jags, they lost. They're not that familiar with going there. Now, the Jags also, they played last week, because they were trying to win the game, so they played their starters. So I think that helps them have momentum. Whereas the Bills, they literally had Josh Allen take one snap against the Jets because they wanted to keep his streak intact of starting games, and then they took him out. So it was Mitch Trubisky in there actually for the whole game. He was shredding the Jets in that game. I think it was the Jets, right? Yeah, I think so. So the Jaguars, I think, have more momentum just because they played their starters last week. Although it was, kind of a tough, it wound up being, I think, kind of a win. No, it was an easy win, right? Who did they play? I don't know. They played some bad team. I think they won easily. I forget who it was. So I actually like the Jags here, man. And the other thing about the Bills is they haven't won a road playoff game in 33 years, the Bills. So I don't know. There's a lot of history there that's going against the Bills. It would be crazy if Josh Allen is one and done here, but I think it might happen. I'm going to go with the Jags in that one for now. I'm going to see what the money looks like there, though. Oh, well, but of course, actually, I have to figure out who's going to get to the final, though. So I shouldn't be doing these, who's going to get to the conference championship. So I shouldn't be doing this yet. Shit. Fuck. Okay, hang on. Well, I got to see, what's the path going to be as well, if these teams win. And then Patriots-Chargers is a really tough game to figure out because, of course, the Patriots face the easiest schedule in the NFL, which is not good. They literally have one win against a team with a winning record, which was that road win at the Bills by 3 points. And, of course, the Bills also beat the Patriots at home. I believe all three Patriot losses, came at home. So I don't know if that's great either. I'm pretty sure that's true. I'll have to make sure of that. But it is going to be cold. I can tell you it's going to be in the 30s, and it's going to be cold rain here, it looks like, up in New England here. So not that great for the Chargers. These dome teams, by the way, playing in the wild card round outdoors, I believe they've won one game in their last 15 games. So that's not a good sign for the Chargers. So there are reasons to not want anything to do with either of the teams in that game. I think I would probably still have to go with the Patriots, though. Just they are the favorite, but spread-wise, I think Chargers +3.5 might actually be the way to go, although in the wild card round, whoever covers usually wins the game. But do I really want to go with the Patriots? It would be possibly the Patriots getting to the conference final here. I don't know if I even want to do that. Let me see. I want to look at these futures again here. I don't know. I'm not building this as backwards as I should have. Hold on. Where are the futures? What are we doing here? I don't even know what I did. I want to see the futures. I got to see the future. All right. Conference winner. Yeah, Patriots are +390. Jags taking either one of them kind of makes sense, I guess, to get to that stage. All right. And then if the Jags have to play in cold weather, I don't love that, though, having the Patriots get that far when they haven't beaten anybody like this. I'm going to have to think about this. Ugh. Yeah, I don't love it, man. I really don't. But, yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to do. It seems too public, but whatever. And then over here in this round, I am going to pick the Packers over the Bears. You know me, the Bears. Dude, the Bears are a fraud. I'll handicap that game more when we get to that game, but it's like a pick 'em line right now, but the Packers should be a favorite on the road. They should have won both games against the Bears. The way that they lost that game at Chicago hadn't even scored a touchdown until the final minutes of the game, and then they had to have an onside kick to even get into opportunity to send the game into overtime, and the Packers had to be down to a third-string quarterback. Now, I guess the one issue with the Packers is Jordan Love hasn't played in like 2 weeks. He's going to play here, but he might be a little bit rusty. But I think once he gets back out there, obviously the experience is a huge edge for the Packers. I mean, you're talking about a quarterback in his first playoff game. And by the way, quarterbacks in their first playoff games, they don't do well against a quarterback that has played in the playoffs before, and that applies to Drake May, Caleb Williams, maybe just those two here. Oh, and Bryce Young. It applies to those three, I think. And those quarterbacks do not do well. I'm just going to put that out there right now. So, I think they're like, I forget, I saw the stat. I think they're like 1 for their last 15 or something like that. So that's not good. Now, obviously, I'm not picking obviously, I'm picking the Rams. There's no question about that. The Rams, giant favorite at the Panthers, whatever. So that's going to set us up with which team do I want to have get here against well, I already have the Eagles beating the Rams, I guess, if I have the Eagles getting through this whole thing. So that means the Eagles have to win at home against the Rams. Yeah, all right. I mean, they did it this year once. They did it last year as well, though the Rams did play them pretty well. Seahawks will be a favorite at home against the Packers. I guess I'll go Seahawks there and then have the Eagles bounce them in the conference championship. That's my bracket. I don't know if I love it. Yeah, it'll be Broncos and Eagles in the Super Bowl. That'll do it. My NFL brackets have not been great, man. Although last year I got both Super Bowl teams right last year, though, so that wasn't too bad at all. I did have the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but I think I had the Chiefs winning it, unfortunately. So that'll do it, man. That's what I got for you. I know it's not that interesting. It'll be more interesting to handicap these individual games here. Cole will be happy about this, but whatever. I don't know if I love it, to be honest. Nix is still very inexperienced. He's got one playoff game under his belt last year, but at least he does have that one, and it was a loss, so there is that. You know, he at least has that experience and will improve, I would think, at least. Yeah, I saw that. Vivek said that he's quitting social media, and people superimposed that with a tweet of his from December that said that if you can't take like the heat on social media, then you shouldn't be like in a political campaign. Oh my God. Dude, yeah, these people are such hypocrites. Yeah, Vivek, he sucks. He's done. I mean, even though his opponent there, Putsch, is a Zionist, unfortunately, as well, I prefer Putsch over Vivek, obviously. All right, that's going to do it, man. So, yeah, it's Broncos over Patriots in the AFC Championship, Eagles over Seahawks in the NFC Championship, and then Broncos over Eagles in the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. I don't know if the Patriots are really going to be able to do this, though, after only having one win against a winning team, man. So, and that team also beat them, so I don't know. We'll see. The Patriots, yeah, they did beat Carolina. Oh, they beat another playoff team, but Carolina's below 500. All right. That's going to do it. We'll talk more. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We have college football playoffs resuming tomorrow with one of the games tomorrow, so I think one's tomorrow and one's Friday. So we'll talk about that then. That's going to do it for me for now, man. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, for this. About a half hour. Oh, thank you. I don't think it was that great, but I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be ranting hard at some of these losses that we took today that were absolute bullshit. I'm pretty sure it was 3 of them that were just complete BS. Maybe it was just 2. I'm really pissed off right now. One of them actually wound up being a push, I think, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. Horrible. We have to bounce back. That's going to do it for now. Trust the process, man, and peace for now.